So here at very first initial point, I will go ahead with the index.js. Index.js. Here I am going to take like a doc type HTML, and here I am going to take HTML again, and head, and in this head I am going to give one meta tag name is equal to some viewport, and here I am going to give content width is equal to device hyphen width, and yeah, and body tag. The body tag I am going to mention the div id equal to root. Div id is equal to some root. Okay, so this is my first program, and here in my package.json I already installed this. I will remove this, and I will show you how to install this one again. npm install Axios. Okay. Yeah, we'll get the dependency here, Axios version, and now we can we have already wrote index.html. Now we can write that program for consuming the Axios call. Okay, I am having one dummy API, that is some JSON placeholder that from net I got. With that API, I will be doing the API calls. So first, let me I will start from here actually, from import, and here I am going for React, and component, capital C component, from React, and one more thing is like I have to give render from React DOM, React-DOM. And one more thing what I want to do is from you have to import Axios. I have to import Axios from Axios library, and yeah, and I am going to start the class, like a class extends component, and here we can see like a constructor at very first triggering a component function, or here I am going to give this dot some state. For now I am not putting anything. Okay, so how in this class only I have to go for render, and here I am going to give return. Here I'm going to return in this return. Okay, render and return, and also in between I want to write one component did mount. So in this life cycle we have to preferably use Axios call. This will be executed when the component is loaded. At that when the component is loaded itself, we will be having the API available for the DOM. So yeah, here we have to write our Axios call. So I have here like Axios dot get, and here I am going to Axios dot get. Here I am going to use it's a promise kind of a function. It is a promise kind of function. It will return the data object. It will return any promise. It will return like array of objects. Any promise if we take, it will return the value in the format of array of objects. Okay, so it's basically it will return an object finally. Okay, so here I am going to dot then in this dot then I have my one API with me, that is like this Axios get API I have. This is a dummy API. Okay, and here it is like dot then, and I am going to give here dot then. I am giving some res, and it's like a function inside it, and having some console dot log and res dot data. Okay. So I'm giving some res dot data. So should read this data, whatever it is available here. So let us see what is available inside this API. Okay. So yeah, here where we can find like some user ID and ID and title and body. So this is an object. This is a array of objects. This API consists of like I have a few entries here. So I want to read all these few entries, all these entries. So whatever with my call axios.get, I am giving the API, and I am giving dot then, and means my particular response dot data dot whatever the data is available. It will be whatever the response data I got, it will be console logged. But still it will be in the format of object and object. We have to JSON stringify it. So first I will show you what will be the output of this. I will start here. npm start. And I have to give here render. Render app, and also I want to document dot get element by ID root, element by ID root. So in this return, I am going to give here some div like this, JSON stringify. Okay. Now if I am seeing this going to take a new value. Default is not a function. package imported module default is function. ID and 1 second. Uh, 1 second, I will check any problem with this package or JSON. Axios and React and React DOM and latest, that's latest. And also next.html, there I can find like value. Okay, here it is like a div id body id root id root header tag body html. Okay, and next.js, it's like a app class app class app, and here it is like a class app extends component and constructor super this dot state. I will give some name inside this, it would be better. Okay, and yeah, name inside it, and I will give some component did mount. Component did mount is like Axios dot get Axios dot get and dot then response response console dot log response data. 1 second. Be the problem. Render app document dot settlement by the root. This is not a function. Okay, fine. We'll do some more information for this so that it might go. Okay, fine. So here this call, I already got this data. So what I will do is I will make like to store this test data inside one state. To store this, I am going to store this data inside some state. So I am going to use some get data, and I am going to use this state, whatever this get data is there. That state I am going to use inside this Axios. This dot set state. This dot set state, and here I am going to give like get data, and here I am going to mention like rest dot rest dot data dot filter rest dot data. For now I will use rest dot data, and yeah. Here in this Axios, I mean in this main div, I will use object dot object sorry object dot keys Here I am going to mention whatever the data we collected here, the same data I am going to use here. But now I will get this one. Yeah, this dot state dot data, this dot state dot data dot map and here I'm going to iterate over this get data. I'm going to iterate over this get data, like this get data actually get data with some key. First, initially I will take the key value, and here I will be mentioning a function, and here it is. Here it is. I am going to return. I may return this some label, and I am going to mention some get call data. Get call data. Okay, and yeah. Some problem here only. And root. We'll see the error, no problem. So here I am going to mention some horizontal link HR, and I am going to give here like some span and some class name some left, and here I am going to mention the user ID because we are having here the user ID value. I am going to read the user ID value to my front end. Okay, user ID, and here I am going to mention this dot. This is actually concatenation plus this dot state dot get data. I am going to get the key value. This will mention the 0th index or first index or second index, and dot user ID user ID, and span, and I am giving one break here PR. And one more thing is like I am going to mention for for title. I'm here having here title, so for the title also I am going to mention one span here. So I am going to give here some class name right, and I will be mentioning here like title. Okay, and one more thing I want to mention, that is like I can mention is like body. So I can mention this as body, and here I can give like a body tag. Okay, here I can give like body tag, and yeah, finally I want to 1 second, class name, and span BR, and body, and finally this everything whatever we have mentioned, that should be there in one div. I'm taking the class name as some container, and here I am going to mention /2. Okay. Container /2, and here /2, and we are closing this and closing this tube also, and finally we are using component. Yeah, totally 3 will be there, like 3, yeah, 3, and this is, I am going to iterate whatever the value I got here. So I just got here the Axios value, like set state get data, and in this get data, whatever the state I have, I am going to update this state value with the response dot data. Okay, with response dot data. So once this data is available, I am going to map this value, and I am going to iterate this value here, like with class name. This classes I will mention this dot get state dot get data, and key, and user ID, and also for title, and also for body. So all this it will be iterating one after the other key, by looping one after the other, and it will display as a blocks actually. Yeah, it will display as the blocks. So we have mentioned here the container left and right classes. So I will do one more file here, like a styles.css. So in this styles.css, I will make one second. Yeah, yeah, left and right. Yeah, in this styles.css, I can mention here, like some first some container dot container, some width, some 100%, and height 100%, height 100%, and also I am going to give here left value, left, and for this left I want to give like a float left, float left, and I have to yeah, float left, and for right, and even like I'm going to give like float right. Okay, yeah, 1 second. Default is not a function. Okay, I will remove this not modules corrupted. Mistake. Yeah, npm start. Yeah. So now I got this data like user ID and also this API data, whatever the API data I have. This API data I can able to call with user ID and also title and body. And this component will be repeated. This get call data will be repeated. Like first, it is like here. Maybe minimize this. I will expand this. Yeah, I will expand. So here you can able to find like user ID and also get a title and body. So all this we can able to iterate one after the other. So let us think like I want only for one item equal to ID. Item ID alone I want to iterate the data and I want to show. In that case we can do like we have to filter the this data like uh, filter and here I want to give like item is user defined and in this as I'm just passing one I'm just giving one variable ID, so that will mention like the ID of this object. Okay, so in this for this object I am going to equal it to 1 triple equal to 1 is strict equal to. So once I am giving this I will be finding like only one user ID which is with user ID as 1 will be filtered for us. So if I want to go for 2, I can, this is like can find here the value ID value 2. So for this second value I have iterated. This is the user ID. The first one is user ID and this is title. Here it is title and the body. Okay, I can able to iterate all this for little clear. I will mention some space here and also here also some space. Here also some space. Yeah, so you will be finding it conveniently. So likewise, we can able to iterate for I mean for a single we can able to iterate, or for a multiple case also we can able to iterate with Axios dot get. And this is about get call. So we can able to do post call also. Since yeah, we can able to do post call, like how we can able to do this. So first we need to create one some payload, or we have to create some kind of an object. We have to pass that object to the post call, and then only it will be applied for that API. So here we have to take like first some let some payload. Let payload is equal to, let payload equal to user ID, some kind of I have some 100 user ID, and ID I have, that is that's also 100, let us think. and title I have, it is like a post data inserted, and body colon, and that is like some uh, post call. Yeah. So this payload, whatever if I am giving in, it will go should go and append this API. Yeah. So how to do that means Axios dot post post. Here I have to mention this API value, like API value, and here I have to give like dot then here I have to mention dot then, here it is like response, and here this response I am going to take a state. Actually I should take a state to update it. So I will get here some post data and colon. I am going to get here this post call. So here this dot set state, I am going to give here post data, and here I am going to give like test dot data. But this payload where we have to mention is, we have to mention like comma payload. So yeah, that will be updates to the current this API should update to this API, and I want to, if I want to capture this payload whatever we are updating, so we can get that here in this, we can capture that here like object dot keys, and here I am going to mention like this dot, this should be in a binded format, um, here it is this dot post data, and I'm going to this dot set state dot post data dot map, and here I am going to give like key value, and here it is like some div, and class name is equal to some container, and it is like some horizontal line and mention, and label trivial post call, and here I am going to mention span class name is equal to some left, and span is equal to class name some right, yeah, so it is left, and so here I want to mention I mean left, and first I want to mention the key, value. See, already, sorry, I have to mention here. Plus here this dot state dot data, this dot state dot data. Here I am going to mention like key. Here I am going to mention key and yeah, this is about span, and I will give the breaks for this each of them. Yeah. So for this some problem here. Which one? Line number 66. Due class name and class name here. Object dot. It's missing some kind of. This is the first one, second one, and once again object dot keys, and this dot state dot post data dot map keys, and here I am going to have div class also div. So here div close. It's not taking the exact div. This div it is taking the other div because yeah. So here I am going to I'm getting a compilation error because state dot key is dot state dot key. Sorry, this is not data. This is post data. Okay. So here I will get the post data, but since I am not having access for this API to post the data, I cannot able to post it because it's already it has some restrictions. I try to find like some dummy API to update, but unfortunately I got only access to read kind of API only. Yeah. 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 And one more thing is like we can do. I mean, same like this only. We can do delete call also. Delete calls looks like look like same. Okay. Suppose, here it is. Delete, and here we no need to mention this payload, and this response data, whatever we are having, we can filter this data filter, and we can give like a item and item dot id is triple equal to some triple equal to 1. Yeah, triple equal to 1. Yeah, with this it will delete the item which is having only the value item id is as 1. That row will be deleted by this function. If people have any doubts in this?
I'm good, Chaitanya. Sorry, I was in another product call. So yeah, so this is about Axios, right? So
Axios, yeah.
You are calling the REST API and projecting that on the UI. Okay, and so what we call as a promise here. So doing get call and doing it in then is a promise.
Yeah, dot then whatever the function. Actually, this Axios is again a built-in some program. So that program will it's an promise kind of function. It is in a basic syntax of this Axios. It will return like a data object, and it will take in the format of promise kind of syntax. So to access or to access these responses, we have to have the syntax structure as Axios dot some get and also URL and dot then. In the dot then only we have to
So
mention.
so it enters into then
Yeah,
only when the rest call is successful, right?
yeah, only when the rest call is successful, right?
So let's say if there is an exception like a 400 bad request, so how do I catch that?
Yeah, we can suppose if it is 400 like that, we can have like dot error. There is one dot error. I will show you. Actually, I deleted that. I was um, it's like 1 second. We can catch like with dot error. We can able to catch it. I will show you that. Here it is.
The data error next to the 23rd line or there itself?
No, no, not there. Here I can mention like the response. I mean res and uh, or error catch uh, error, and here I can give like error and, or here I have to give response, and here I have to mention like this dot not this dot this response dot here one second. I will give the correct syntax. It's like dot catch. We can catch this like this actually. Dot catch. And here I have to mention. Here I have to mention the function name, some response, response dot some return some promise dot reject. Here I can give like error, but this error is like my should be my functions parameter, and whatever the response is there. Yeah, like this we can catch the promise error actually. Means it will return us the error if it is finding any problem with the post call. I mean get call or post
So
call.
can we set the state also here in the error catch? Because let's say if there are any validation errors coming in the 400, so
Yeah,
Uh,
we can mention, suppose if we want to catch any multiple multiple errors or something, we can able to push that to, I mean, capture in the state, and we can capture that here in this um, I mean, return error block.
okay, okay,
In simple also, it's we can give, not we, this way we can do, either we can do it this way, and also we can do like error dot response. So this response, whatever we are having, this is like a, yeah, return. Yeah,
okay. There will be a response node in the error object also.
it's a defaultly it will take like a, error if it is captured any wrong in this call, and it will give us the response back to us. Yeah. Means you will be getting that 404 or 400, not 400, 404 or some other errors.
Okay. Okay. So we didn't pass any headers in the axioms, right? So can we pass the headers and how it is being now called without headers? So it's by default,
Yeah, no, we can pass headers here only, like we
but
have
we
to.
are not passing anything right now, right? So how it is?
Yeah, because if it is necessary, we'll pass. If it is, see, like headers, we are having like authentication or some kind of ID, password. That information, if it is available with the API, then we have to capture that like in some headers block, and we have to pass it. For example, like I have some headers here, and if I have some user ID, UID, or so let us think these are the params I have. Some PWD, some kind of PWD, and also some key or authentication key, some kind of some some alpha, some value I have here. So at this point of time, whatever means then whatever the headers we are having, this is internally, means for inside organization, to maintain security for these APIs, we are using some authentication, user ID and password. So once we are passing these headers only, it will be I mean, it will be capturing actually. We have to pass.
Let's say if the header is coming from the request, I mean, um, so initially when we log in, so let's suppose we already passed the authentication phase, and from the next time we want to hit a protected resource, so we will pass the headers in it. So at that time we don't usually give this, right? So we take this from somehow the request cookies, right? uh, how to grab the cookie data.
Cookies and all, you will be here only. You, if it is passing with headers, we'll pass here. If it is passing globally with some cookie data, let us think like you have a data in cookie, and you want to use that same data for all your APIs. Then in the server end, you can able to configure this cookie. You have to configure this data with cookie there in the server end. So whatever the configured value, we can able to pass, or we so by default it will be taking those cookie params.
Okay, yeah, I got that. So the server application will take the cookie data through
Yeah,
the request, right? So
yeah.
whatever the request we are sending, it will get the cookies from that request. But in order to uh, send the request. So we are using this axioms. So to that particular thing. So along with the request we are sending, we should be able to pass the headers as well, right? So if we hard code the headers like this, it's not
Yeah,
possible that the server can accept. So without hard coding the headers, so how can we dynamically pass the headers from a browser?
we can get the data from either see these headers all the time. It will be having, suppose if I take here my see my post main data.
Uh,
Yeah, see here
okay. I got it. I got it. So the thing is,
yeah, here you will be having the headers already. So these are the different headers we can, yeah, able to pass in general. Means this is like some kind of content type, and also allow access origin, and
uh, these are all the headers, right? So
these
one
are,
of the authentication also, somewhere over here there will be a field authentication, and you will pass the token somewhere here, right?
yeah, we have to pass that token here. Yeah. Like means it will be available, but I mean once you are reading that headers file, I mean that API with the headers, and automatically it will fetch the dynamic I mean URL. In general, actually it will be allocated at one backend in one function, or we can able to get the response on top of the headers only. Suppose in some APIs you can find like header data available in the API alone. In some it is like encrypted, so we have to catch via headers this data, and we have to use this same data to our application. So this is basically in the Java end. Most of the time they will be Java end or Node.js end, they will be capturing.
Yeah. So you will send the cookies, and you will get the cookies from the server side only. So basically, the React app doesn't do anything regarding the authentication or authorization. So everything the server side application will
Yeah,
take care of sending the cookies and taking
yeah,
the cookies through the request.
yeah, because APIs are created in the backend.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. I think after doing one POC, I would get clear picture on this.
Yeah, you can try this. You can try this, and yeah, I will. You can, if you want some assignment, I will give you one assignment so that you people can.
Okay.
So I will delete this. And this one. I have one assignment here. Okay, not one. Still. What the other one? So I have one API as I showed you here in this. I mean, in this. So here I am having like objects. These results, these are the different objects I have. Okay, I want to capture these objects, And with this from this API, I want to capture this data. So let us think I want to capture this name and whether he is alive, and whether he is in his location, what is his location, and his image. Okay, I want to capture all this data in iteratable format. Okay, means
In a table.
in a not in table, in one div, in one
Okay.
div, in one div. For each entry it should be one div. So in for this entry, let us think for this id entry, we are having one in one div. I am having these results. Let us think this Rick is alive, and also his species, and his gender, and his origin, and yeah.